What's going on, everyone? This is Jason Jenkins with Exit Realty Achieve, and I'm in the offices out here in Smithtown, Long Island. I just wanted to touch on something that a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me lately about, whether it's through somebody else or whether you're reaching out to me through my Facebook. And this video is made specifically for first-time home buyers who are having a lot of trouble getting themselves into a contract and closing on a home. So this video is really going to be to provide you with a number of different tips to give you an overview of why your offers are not getting accepted and to really change how you guys operate out there in the markets today. So the first thing I want to touch on before we really get into the portion of the video where I start giving you a couple of tips that's going to help you get to where you want to get to is just to address a lot of the misconceptions that are polluting first-time home buyers' minds or polluting the minds of people who are interested in buying their first home. One of the most pervasive that I come across is the fact that foreclosures are actually more affordable than any other type of home. And in New York, that is absolutely 110% unapologetically wrong. In this market that we're in right now, foreclosures compete with every other house out there. So whether or not you're dealing with a traditional sale, whether you're dealing with a short sale, foreclosures go hand in hand as far as price goes with competing against those properties. And in some cases, foreclosures actually can be priced a little bit higher. For reasons that I'm not going to discuss in this video, do not look to foreclosures as being an affordable option or an affordable choice versus what's out there on the market right now. The second thing I want to touch on for you guys is why we're having so much trouble getting into a house in this level of the market. And it's because there are a ton of people out there who are competing for the same exact properties. Whenever a property hits the market, there's 10, 20 people at open houses, and these are people with mortgages. This is not taking into account that there are people or there are investors who are coming in to buy the same house with all cash, and it makes it very hard for a person who's looking to buy a home with a mortgage to compete with those offers. So what has to happen is you guys have to understand how to make your offer stand out. And this is really what this video is about. Is to help you understand what you can do to put you in a better position, to make the seller view you more favorably, and to help you beat everyone else out in order to get you that home. All right, so the first and most important piece of advice that I can give to you guys as first-time home buyers or potential first-time home buyers is to make sure you're working with a loan officer who knows what they are doing. And the reason why I view that as the number one piece of advice that I can give you is because you guys, as people who are looking to move into a house or to purchase your first home, have to understand the financial implications and the financial impact of what you're getting yourself into. Purchasing a home is more than just a mortgage payment every month. When you add that mortgage payment to your debt load, you are effectively changing your financial outlook or your financial capacity to handle different debt loads. And you should understand what you're getting into because it helps you be more knowledgeable and more prepared for when you actually do close on a house, so that you don't get any unexpected surprises and your dream home all of a sudden becomes a nightmare that you're going to lose the foreclosure to the bank. So it's very important that you work with someone who can help you understand what you're getting into. The second piece of advice that can help you stand out that I have for you guys, if it's possible, is to make a higher down payment on the house. And the reason I say that is because a person who is able to make a higher down payment on the house is going to be viewed more favorably by the seller as being more capable and more financially able to purchase their house. And I know a lot of you guys are going through the FHA program. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some of these tips that I'm going to give you coming up is going to help you to be able to leverage the fact that you're even in the market to buy a house. But even so, you guys have to understand that a person who can put down a higher down payment, whether they're out of the FHA and doing conventional 20+ percentage points down, they're going to be looked at more favorable. So if you guys are in a situation, I advise you not to hold anything back and actually put down 20% or more, even 10 if you have it, to show these people that you are serious, that you are ready, and that you are able to take them to the closing table. The third piece of advice that I want to give to you guys is to accompany your offer with the right documentation. And to explain that, a lot of people, they'll make an offer and they'll show a pre-approval as advised by their realtors. And really, that's great. It shows that you have the financial capability or you have the backing by a lender to move forward to get the loan to close on the house. But when you accompany your offer with documents such as a proof of funds letter, which is a letter from the bank that states that you have a certain amount of money in cash in the bank and that you've held it over a certain period of time to put down as a down payment. You're effectively looking a lot stronger to the seller. When you can provide a copy of your credit report because you have good credit, once again, you're showing the seller that you are very capable to take them to the closing table, that you have a good repayment history, and that you have a good financial history in general. You automatically become more trustworthy. And these are things that I cannot stress to you really stand out when you're making an offer and there are 3, 4, 5, 7 other offers coming in at the same time. You have to do what you have to do to make sure that your offer stands out above everyone else's. Just to move on, this is something that's it can be a little bit difficult to do, especially if a realtor is representing a seller in a certain fashion. But if you can, try to present your offer directly to them. A lot of people, they're willing to give people a shot, even if they don't have the highest offer on the house. And it could be because they remind them of them when they were younger, or they understand that they're in a certain position, but that they're trying to get a home and provide for their children. Whatever your situation may be, if you can connect with the seller of the home, you have a lasting imprint in their memory, and that also gives you an advantage to get your house sold. It's something that I cannot stress how effective it is, and it actually just happened on a house I sold recently, so I know for a fact that works, and it's a technique that I use with the people that I represent as well. So moving on, I'm not even sure what number we're on right now, but let's just keep moving in succession. Very important for you guys is if you have the capacity to make an offer on a house that needs repairs, and you can get the repairs done while either living in the house or not living in the house, you have an advantage, because houses that are in need of repair technically need all cash offers, or they need a rehab loan, some type of 203K, which is a rehab loan under the FHA standards. And this gives you an advantage because for investors who would typically be the target audience for these properties, they have to make a certain amount of return on their money invested. So let's just say that they have to make $200,000 on the house, they have to make an offer of $200,000 to get whatever their return is. You, as a person who's looking to move inside of the house, you can make an offer higher than $200,000 because your goal is to purchase that house to live in. You don't need a return back, so you have an advantage of being able to make a higher offer on these properties. And it's very important for you guys, especially if you have the capabilities to repair houses or to fix up these houses in a manner that I stated before, where you're either living in it or you're living outside of the home. Very important as well. This is something that I've been telling a lot of people, I've expressed to a lot of people, and I say this because this is very important in this market. When you come into this market, you need to make an offer that is at asking price or a little bit higher. And the reason I'm telling you that is because there's so many people competing for the same price. You have to understand that there are people out there who are gonna offer asking. And then there are people who are going to offer above asking. So if you can go a little bit higher on the house, I advise you to go a little bit higher, but never outside of your financial capability. You want to do what you have to do to get inside these houses. This next piece of advice, it really goes out to a select few people, and you know who you are. When you're in this market and there are a ton of people competing for the same house, and there aren't enough houses for you to look through before they get taken off the market, don't be so picky. Don't be the type of person who takes a week or a couple of days to decide if they like a house. Because in the time that you're taking to decide whether or not this is the house for you, somebody's going to come in and make an offer. It's probably going to be at asking price, and you know what? The seller's going to take them up on what they offered, because the seller's job or the agent's job is to get the house sold for as much money as possible in a shorter period of time. So if you're someone who tends to be very picky, this next piece of advice is really for you more than anyone else. And that is to be patient and just sit out the market. If you really can't find anything, if you're in a lower bracket of what you can afford, if you're getting outbid on everything and you just decide that you don't want to make an offer at asking, that you don't want to put down more down payment, that you don't want to follow any of the pieces of advice or principles that I just gave you, the best thing for you to do is to sit out the market and wait at least 1.5 to 2 years for the market to settle down. So with everything else being held constant and this advice being given to you in no particular order of importance except for the first one, if you use these principles, you should notice a transformation in your home hunting activities or your home hunting results. Of course, there's always the other option, which I didn't list there because I wanted this to be I wanted this content to be more valuable as opposed to a sales tool, you can always hire someone like me to assist you to really go out and do battle on your behalf. But that's a conversation for another time. If that's something that you guys are interested in, of course you could message me privately, as a lot of you do, and I appreciate that very much. It's people like you who I see who are watching these videos that really encouraged me to make this video today, and possibly some other videos in the future to address some of the hardships that you guys are facing. So I just want to thank you guys for taking the time out to view this video, for allowing me to share with you what I'm seeing in this market, and to give you some great advice and some great practical tips on how to get your offer accepted in today's market. So once again, thank you very much. This is Jason Jenkins with Exit Realty Achieve, recording from the office. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.